Hey, what's up, guys? Back with another stream. This time again with X-Plane 11. And continuing the series of getting my SR20 to Hawaii in FSEconomy. Yep, that's what we're going to do. So here we are on the tarmac at Dayton. Beautiful day at Dayton. And we're going to be, let me just show you what we're going to be doing today. All right, so we're going to be, let's see, let me just show you what we have planned here. So the whole idea here is I bought this SR20 on FSEconomy, and I'm flying it from Pennsylvania, where I started, to California, and I'm gonna have someone ship it to Hawaii for me, Honolulu, so I can fly it around there in FSEconomy. So this is the second episode, and today we're going to be going from Dayton to, we're going to end up in, what the hell's the name of this airport? Sorry. Let me get the name of this airport. Hopkinsville Christian County, all right? So that's where we're going to end up. We got three stops. So we're going to start in Dayton. We're going to take these three people to KLUK. All right, so let's get those, add those assignments, and we're going to rent the SR20. Where is it? This is my SR20 right there. See, I've got it so no one can rent it. Okay, so that's our first leg from Dayton. Get rid of that. Okay, now we're in from KLU. We're going to head to Louisville. Okay, so we're going to take three people here. Add those. That's our second leg. And then from Louisville, we're going to go to HVC, and we're going to take three people there. Small airport. That's the longer one of the trips. So we'll get that in our assignment. Now if we look at our flight, there we go. Sort it by miles, and that'll show us KLUK first, and we'll go to St. Louis, and then, Louisville, sorry, and then from Louisville to HVC. All right, so total is about $7,000. But we're gonna have costs for fuel and stuff like that. So we're starting with a cash balance of $5,000 and 93. Actually, my my C1900 has been rented a few times, which is good. So I'm making a little bit money with that, which is good. So anyway, so this is our goal for today. And you can see here's the trip. Okay, we've got you zoom in here. So I put a GPS coordinate here just so we get lined up with the airport here at Cincinnati Lunken, and then we head to Louisville Bowman, and then we head to the small airport at the HBC. Okay, so 246 miles total. We can pick up gas at every place along the way, which is good. And oops, sorry, I don't want to do that. But yeah, so that's our goal. That's our trip today. 250 nautical miles roughly. Our first one's a quick one, and this second one is 68. So we have plenty of gas to get where we're going. But I appreciate you guys joining the stream. Oop, didn't want to show that. All right, and then that's our plan. So we don't need this guy anymore. That's our plan right there. And like I said, first trip's 49. Just make sure at KLUK. We can get gas. We can. So just in case we need to fill up, we got 36 gallons already, which is plenty for our plane, and that'll do her. So all right. Anyway, so we're cold and dark right now. Got to spark the plane up, and you can see here, upper left-hand corner, I've got my flight plan going, and I can go to my binders here and go to KDAY, look at the airport diagram, and you can see right where we are here. Okay, look at the upper left-hand corner, and you can see there's our plane right there. So we're going to be taking off at 24 left, heading southeast, and then we'll make our turn down towards our destination. Hey Craig, how you doing? Thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate it. So that's the plan. Flight Plan Go has this nice binder, so we have all of our airports already. So Cincinnati Muni, okay. We're going to be coming in from the north, so we'll probably land on probably land on 2-1 left. Maybe 2-5, probably 2-1 left. We'll see. Probably 2-1 left, but we can deal with that when we get there. It's going to be a short flight. The first one. So anyway, that's the goal. All right. So let's get inside the plane. Got to fire this baby up now. Once I get in the plane, I can't really hear anybody. Let me just get myself centered. Oops, sorry. All right. Okay. All right, so let's get our, let's open up, well, we'll leave the door closed. Let's get our batteries on. Okay, and we'll put our mixture to full and get the throttle to about 25% clear prop. Good start. Okay. Alternators on, avionics on. Get the lights on. And we should be good to go. Warm the plane up. I take care of one thing on the outside here. All right, plane warm it up. I think that music's too loud. Okay, we'll turn the music off for the. All right, here we go. No music. Hopefully, you guys can hear the plane. All right, cool. So we're in the vFlyteAir SR20, Cirrus SR20. Love this plane. Oops. That's a nice feature there. So let's get outside the plane here. Check our flight controls. Get my pedals on here. All right, pedal. Okay, that's good. That's the rudder, elevator, ailerons. Check the flaps. Flaps are working. Beautiful. All right, cool. And there's the Bambino Games SR20. Great plane. So kind of frame rates we're getting, 2021. All right, not too bad. Remember, an X-Plane 11, you want to get at least 20 frames per second so time moves correctly. And good to go. All right, so what we want to do here is I'm going to load up FSEconomy. Falkor, how you doing? Thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate it. I'm just loading up my FSEconomy flights. You guys can't see that on the screen, I don't think. All right, so I got my gas and my 3 assignments. Oops. Beautiful. All right, I'll turn the music on once we get in the air. All right, so Runway's behind me, I would imagine. All right, so we're going to be taking off, and let me get my flight plan loaded. Important step here. I like to do it this way. I already have it set up from Flight Plan Go, and then it just enters it right in. And if I go to, let me pop this out here. Ooh, crap. I can move this over here like that so it's easier to see. And then I'll just hit the flight plan button. And there's my flight plan. You can see that KDAY, take to the first waypoint, then KLUK, then Nunya, then KLU, then HVC. Alright, so good to go. Alright. And it is nice to have this thing nice and close up so you can easily read it. Although I wish I could put it back, like further, a little further back, because it's like right in my face. But in any event, got plenty of gas. Let's switch to the right tank, because that's a little fuller. And all right, time to taxi. Let's go, baby. Oh, let's get my forgot a few things. This is on GPS. Let's get our transponder on altitude, squawking 1200 altitude. Back. Let's get our nearest in. Let's get our inset in. Declutter that. And what I want to do is I'm going to fly, I think I fly at like 2,000. Why don't we say 2,500? Set my altitude. Oops. When you press the button, it changes it to exactly where you are now. I'm at 1,000 feet now, so that should be good. I'm just going to check my chart here just to see the elevations. I don't think I have to worry about anything. No, it's all about 1,000 feet, so. And St. Louis is at 483. Oh, this is a little bit lower. Okay, so it's kind of in a valley. So it's just, you know what, I'll highlight this like that so we can see. Sorry, it's not St. Louis. Did I say St. Louis? Cincinnati. All right, flight plan is in, and we're ready to go. All right, so brakes off. Getting our taxi on. It's kind of hard steering this way. All right, here we go. We're gonna go flaps to 1. Everything looking okie dokie. We're looking for about 70 knots and then, or 74 knots, and then rotate up. Gonna be a pretty long flight, 250 miles total. So the first one's quick, but nice thing is we're not got a few things to do in between. I like to do the multi-hops because, you know, we could get to do a couple landings and stuff, so. But I think the next leg after this, I'm going to do like a super long one, like a 400-mile flight or something like that. All right, let's get ourselves into position here. All right, one last check. Let's see, safety belt on. Doors are closed and locked. The flight plan is in. Gas is good. We're on the right tank. Our controls are all working. There's our ailerons. There's working. The flaps are at 1. And we're good to go. All right, let's go. Got to watch the little P factor in the takeoff, so we're using the rudder pedals to keep center line. 36, 39, 40. Coming up to 50 knots. Coming up to 60 knots. 65, 70, and rotate. Nice, easy, up. Beautiful. All right, good. Airspeed is alive. 70, 80 knots. And we are climbing. And I know that I shouldn't do this. You should fly to the end of the runway, but I'm going to make a quick turn here and get myself on my GPS vector. Actually, I said 26 before, but I don't think I'm going to go that high. So we got a quick landing, so I'm going to keep it at around, I think around 18. There we go. Right around there. Alright, everything looking good. Let's get the flaps up. Forgot about that. So we can start to gain some speed. We do have the cap system in this airplane, so if something goes wrong, we actually have a parachute that can bring us down to Mother Earth, which is great. So everything looking good. All right, let's get our autopilot on. Get it on nav. Let the computer fly the plane. Bring it down to 1790. I still think that vFlyteAir's got a little work to do with the autopilot. I've mentioned that before. But we have, let's see, going to be a quick flight. It's only a couple minutes there. We're only, well, actually, sorry, that's our first vector. Well, that's our final destination. Sorry, hour and 38, my bad. Let's look at our next location is going to be KUE, 33 nautical miles, 13 minutes. Everything looking good. All right, nice. Coming up to 145 knots. Drop back on the trim. Let's just check out the engine. Let's see if we can drop back on the trim a little bit, save some gas. Sorry, not the trim. I always call it the trim, to lean it out a little bit. Oop, that's a little too much. And we could pull back on the throttle a little bit. Get ourselves to about 68. Burn about 9 miles per gallon. And we could see here, used 21 gallons, remaining 34 gallons. We've got 3 hours and 24 minutes. We've got almost a 500-mile nautical mile range. So we've got a lot of gas here. We could actually pretty much do this whole trip with the 36 gallons we have on board. We're 34 now. So if that be the case, I think I'm going to run the power a little higher just to get us some increase the airspeed a little bit. We'll run at about 85, 86%, 2700 RPM, and looking good. See, the takeoff takes a lot of fuel, so we've already burned some considerable amount of fuel. We're going to switch our tanks over to the left tank. Hopefully we're not going to hit that radio tower. So thanks for joining the stream, guys. Say hello in the chat if you'd like. Love to hear from you. Love to hear what you have any questions about VR or whatever. It'd be cool to know. All right, we're running at 17, which is awful. Now, here's my question. I have a question. How come in this X-Plane 11 generated scenery, which is what we are here, we run in lower speeds than we do on Ortho 4XP? So in the ortho scenery, like in San Diego that I have, like Southern California, this plane runs in frame rates of like mid to high 30s. But when we're in the X-Planes, I guess it's because maybe there's a lot of autogen. That could be the reason. I might have to reduce the autogen. In fact, I may do that when we land. So anyway, yeah, that's probably the reason, because I think I have the world objects on too high. Could be. Anyway, you guys have any questions about VR or anything like that? I'd love to answer them for you. So we're all eagerly awaiting the next release of X-Plane 11, X-Plane 1.0. It's supposed to have some considerable improvements. Optimization improvements. Trying to think of all the features they're talking about. I think the shadowing is going to be better. There's some pretty, geez, I can't remember what the main things are. Oh, the G1000, that's the big one. The Garmin G1000, Laminar's G1000, so going to be able to see that in the Cessna. It's going to be cool flying that Cessna with the G1000. I wonder if the SimCoders version is going to work with the G1000, because, you know, the REP, which is the more realistic expansion pack for the C172, in X-Plane 11, which I have, which is really great. I'm wondering if that's going to work with the glass cockpit C172. I sure hope so. I sure hope so. Pretty nasty day here in the Northeast. We're expecting Tropical Storm Philip to come by, which is supposed to be kind of nasty. So we're kind of all geared up for that. All right, so we're doing it close to 150 knots. What's our ground speed? 156. Right on the money on the GPS. You can see that's this. Let me just show you how these. Where's my mouse? Come on, mouse. Where are you? There you go. Pop this out here. So this is the PFD. So right here is your compass, and this purple line here is the GPS. Keeps you on track with GPS. This is your airspeed one there, 149. This is your altitude. Nearest airports right here. You need that in case you have an emergency. This is your heads-up display for your navigation, just to show you where you are. It's really pretty difficult to read. The regular clock is right here, local time 12:12 p.m. Your comms right here. Okay, this is your GPS status in magenta, saying we're on GPS. Autopilot altimeter is at 1790 feet. And that's pretty much it. There's your transponder right there. And that's pretty much it. Then you've got your MFD over here, and on top you've got your nav radios, which I really don't use much. I fly all GPS. It has your ground speed, your direction, your basically your course, your final destination, which is nice to have. So it's KHVC. And we've got 222 nautical miles to get there, about an hour and 25 minutes. If we want to, we can go to the engine. Well, actually, let me go back here. So this shows you the vitals, right? RPM 87, okay. It shows you your fuel, shows you your fuel flow, shows you your temperature, oil temp, which is looks like it's pretty high. Oil pressure, your batteries, in your EGT and your CHT. And if you take that off here, now you've got your a more detailed display of what's going on with the power engine. And again, here you got your fuel calculations, which is really nice. You can see I'm burning a lot of fuel. And if you can see, as I pull this throttle back, you see my nautical miles go up, right? Just that one little, if I go from 86 to 80, I gained like, what, 30 miles? So it just shows you how much money, how much you can save. And then you've got air density, your outside air temperature, 68 air density, etc., etc. So pretty detailed information. Nice to have. If I ever owned a real plane, this is probably the plane I'd want to own. Mentioned that before. Maybe the SR-22, but I take an SR-20 also. And I'm actually thinking about getting a Thrustmaster 1600M, which is a flight stick, and using that for controlling this plane and maybe the helicopters and stuff. I don't know if I'm going to get the throttle, because I think I'll just use this throttle. I really don't need that. I can just use these throttle controls. But it'll be nice to have the stick, and I could switch it to left hand so I can control it with the left hand. That would be kind of cool to have for this, and also for the glider. So I'm really thinking about getting that. Hooking that up. Be kind of cool. See what we're doing outside here. See what the frame rates are outside. Well, they're a little better. 20. No, not really. At least we're keeping time. The next plane, if you go below 20 frames per second, you're not keeping up with real time. You're going slower. The simulator's going slower than real time, which is not optimal. So let me go inside the plane here and see what we're getting. You can see 18, 17, 19, 15, 14. And for some reason, it's dog slow. What I love is if you could zoom in here, you could see the PFD and the MFD right there in the cockpit. Pretty cool. And to me, it looks 3D, which is nice. Hey, Folker's asking what kind of rudder pedals that I'm using. I'm using the CH Product Pro pedals to match the yoke, and they're great. I've never had any problems with them. They work very well. They are very sensitive, but I think that's an issue with X-Plane, controlling in an X-Plane. But you get used to it after a while. It definitely took me some time to get used to using rudder pedals, but now it's like pretty much, you know, standard operating procedure. I'm pretty much used to it. But yeah, the CH Product Pro pedals, very good. I think they're like 120. I'll have a link in the description when I post this video, but if you look on some of my other videos, I have a link there. If you're going to buy them, click that link, because they'll go through Amazon, and I'll get a little stipend from Amazon if you buy them. But yeah, they're very good. USB controlled, and they've been around for a long time, and a lot of people use them. A lot of people think very highly of them. Let's get back inside the plane here, a little quieter. All right, we're coming up to our first turn, and then it'll be a quick jaunt right into Our where we're going. Hold on, where we're going. KLUK, which is, hold on, Cincinnati Lunkin. Cincinnati Lunkin. David, how are you? I'm doing great. Thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate it. We're just flying here on a rainy Sunday afternoon in the northeast of the U.S. and we're taking our second trip, getting this SR20 to the West Coast in FSEconomy so that I can hire somebody to ship it. Now, I did figure out last stream. I said I didn't really know what the hell, how the hell I'm going to do it. So I did look into it, and there's an option in FSEconomy to crate this thing up. At the last airport, it was going to cost $6,600, but I would imagine, I'm not sure, maybe that's going to, well, that'll probably be the same no matter where you are. So it's going to be close to $7 grand to pack it up, and then I'll have to hire someone to fly it from LAX, which is where I'm going to end up, to Honolulu. Now, I looked into the plane ranges, and I think the only plane in X-Plane 11 standard plane, stock plane that I could use is the 737. It's got like a 5,000 mile range, so that's the only plane I could use. The MD-80 doesn't have the range. It's just 2,500 miles, and that's about how far you have to go. So 737. Now, I tried to fly the 737 since the last stream, and it's very complicated for me. There's a lot of systems, the FMS and all that, and rather than me taking the time to learn how to fly a 737 to fly this myself, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hire somebody to do it. And I'm sure once I post it, we'll get someone to do it. I'll probably post something on the FSEconomy Facebook group or whatever, and we'll get someone to fly it there for me. That's just easier. I just don't, I'm a GA virtual pilot, so rather than learn how to fly a 737, just going to hire someone to do it. Makes much more sense to me. All right, so we're 11 miles out. Let's see if we could see our airport. Yep, lined up very nicely with that runway. I think it's the leftmost runway. We'll see from our diagram if we can figure out which one it is. Go to my binder. Cincinnati. Let's look at the airport diagram. Yeah, we're going to be landing on 21 left. Okay, see it right here, 21 left. That's where we're going to be landing. All right. We're going to assume we have clearance. It's a Type B. It's a Bravo airport, so we would have to call the tower, get clearance and all that, which we'll just assume that we have. It's 4,000 feet. We're at 400 feet, about almost 500 feet elevation. We're at 1,800, so we're gonna have to come down a little bit. What I do here is nice to zoom in in VR. It just basically acts like binoculars, so I can actually see the airport and I know that I'm lined up okay. At about 5 miles out, we'll start to slow things down a little bit. Do a pre-flight check. I don't think there's a checklist. Is there a checklist? Oh, there is a checklist. Let's just go to checklist. Oh, nice. Pre-flight. Before landing, seatbelt, fuel pump. Oh, fuel pump. They want you to have the fuel pump on. Didn't know that. I never turned that on, the boost. Mixture full. Flaps as required. Air autopilot as required. All right. I never used a full fuel pump. All right, let's assume. David, native VR is coming. David's asking if when any word on native VR for X-Plane. So the last word from Laminar is that, let me just get my stuff together here. Autopilot is off, mixture is in, and let's start to slow the plane down a little bit. I like to be under 150 knots before I hit the first flaps, because otherwise the plane kind of rides up on me. All right, flaps to 1. So to answer your question, David, Laminar is saying that it is due out by end of year. Now, they didn't say this, but I'm thinking that that probably means beta. We're about 3 miles out. "90 knots. All right, let's go to full flaps. Anything, I think, like under 110. You can go to full flaps, but we want to make sure we keep our airspeed solid, so we're not going to stall the plane. I think we got plenty of room to stall is around under 70, so, or under like 65, so probably want to land at about 80, but 85 is good as we're lining up here. I think we're a little high. What's nice on this trip is we'll make a little bit of money, gas money, and actually all 3 legs. But the next time, like I said, I'm probably going to do a long trip, and it's very difficult. Seems to be from these airports in FSEconomy. It's difficult to find flights west that have passengers for long flights. So until I get to like a major airport, I think it's going to be kind of hard to find. What I want to do is end up at McCarran in Las Vegas, which is a new airport. And then from there, I may do a full flight from there right to LA. We'll see. We got our flaps are full. We're at 78 knots. It's coming in nicely here. Trim up. Beautiful. We'll just stop right here. Now we'll have to shut the plane off to set parking brake.
Brake set.
All right, we'll have to shut the plane off to register our FSEconomy. Do that. All right, boom. Let's just make sure I got the money there, which I did. And now I'm going to just start the flight again. Still got 32 gallons. Didn't burn much at all. So now I got a little bit of longer leg to Louisville. All right, so now we'll start things up again here. Mixture in. Throttle to about 25%. clear prop. Good start. Alternators on, avionics on. And get our nav on. Still got our flight plan in there. Let's just make sure everything's good to go. We should be good to go. And yes, our next leg is going to be Nunya and then Lou. So there we go. All right, let's see. Tanks are about equal. Again, we got plenty of gas. We're all loaded up with FSEconomy. Let me get my... so you guys can see this next leg. Thank you, thank you. Do I fly? Thanks for the compliments on the landing, guys. Do I fly with real world weather? No, I do not. Well, sometimes I do. In this, I'm not. All right, let's see. Are we? Everything's good to go here. Seatbelt on. Mixtures in. Flaps to 1. No, flaps to 1. And let's make sure ailerons are okay. All right, let's just go. We made about $1,600 right there on that quick trip. That'll pay for gas at least. There's 40 knots, 50 knots, coming up to 60 knots, 65, and rotate. Nice, easy. Wonder what river that is. Is it Cincinnati River? Not sure. Flaps up. One thing I always forget to do. Get ourselves back up to 1719. And then we should be good to go on the altitude and the 66 miles to nautical miles to Nunya, which is our our waypoint to turn into Louisville, which is the next airport we're going to land at. There's, I guess is that Cincinnati over there? Must be. All right, coming up to 1600. And we're coming up to our 1790. Get the autopilot going. And let's lean things out a little bit here. And we'll bring our throttle back a little bit. Well, like I said, I don't care about running a little hot here because I want to get there quickly. let's just check our stuff here. So we got 63 miles to Nunya, 27 minutes. Everything looking good there. Got our nearest airports in case we need to land. And here we've got 75% power. RPM's 2,500. Oil pressure we don't have a reading on, or oil temperature don't have a reading on. Gets a glitch in the thing. We got the 142, 144 ground speed, and now we're about 191 nautical miles away from our final destination, which is HVC. There we go. So, Falker, yeah, you were asking if I fly in real-world weather. I do at times. For this flight, I'm not, but I do at times. The problem I have with real-world weather in X-Plane is the shadow flickering of the clouds. It's probably not as bad in 2D, but in VR, it's really annoying. Now, maybe they fixed that. I don't think they fixed it in 11.05. Maybe they'll fix it in 1.0. I hope they do, because it's really annoying, and it's one of the reasons why I don't fly in weather. I do fly in wind sometimes, just to practice. This time I'm not. I'm just flying in perfect conditions, variable light winds. But sometimes I do that to practice with rudder control and stuff like that, and crabbing and crosswind landings and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I do from time to time. I haven't invested in any of the third-party weather systems. One, because I've heard they don't work well in VR. Like SkyMax, I think it is, and what's the other one? Real Weather or Real Busy, whatever it's called. Anyway, so yeah, I haven't really invested in any of those. I've used the X-Plane inherent weather, which I'm hoping will get better and better. You know, why should I have to spend additional money on another weather system? It should be built into the the sim that I'm using. All right, so David's asking, when Oculus people come out with their new home hub thingy later in December, do you think that we'll be able to bring external windows into XP11? Well, I think that's a function right now of FlyInside. And FlyInside does have an external window capability. I could do that, but I find that when I do that, I can't control anything in the cockpit with the mouse. So I've got to figure out what that problem is, and I keep forgetting to do it. So I don't think that that's going to make a difference as far as bringing windows into the cockpit, because you can do that now with FlyInside. And I think the native VR, they're planning on doing that too. So, hey Mayday, how you doing? Thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate it. Hi Mayday, are you running X-Plane beta, 1.0 beta? No, I'm not. I have not installed the beta yet. I know I saw an update from FlyInside this past week, a beta update from FlyInside that's supposed to work with it. So that's 2 betas, and I'm like, I don't know. See, I mean, since I stream and fly, you know, on YouTube and stuff, I can't afford for my system to take a chance of my system not working, which is why I tend to stick with GA stuff. So I have not installed it yet. I would like to try it. I'd like to try G1000 on the Cessna in VR and see what it's like, but I haven't done it yet because I want to wait for some people to use FlyInside's new release first, just to make sure everything's cool with that. Yes, we're getting pretty shitty frame rates. Let's go outside the plane here. Alright, so let's see, Louisville. We're at, what is that? Is that 556 feet, okay. That's kind of a low one, too. Let's take a look at our, we don't need these guys anymore, right? Let's see, we don't need that guy, we don't need that guy anymore. Let's say Louisville. So Louisville probably come into 2-4. I think we're lined up to come into 2-4. Hopefully. Mayday asks, have you checked out the new Just Flight aircraft yet? I think you will like it. It's a fantastic version. I'll have to see. Which plane are you talking about? Which plane did they come out with? I didn't see the announcement of that. Hey, John Dow, thanks for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate that. Thanks a lot. And thanks for joining the Bambino Games Flyers, if you will. David says, I'll try, so you're going to try 11.10 tonight with FlyInside. Yeah, that'd be really good to know. Send me a message on Twitter or something, David, and let me know how you make out, or you know, message me on YouTube or something. Let me know how it goes. I'd be interested to know. I have a Discord set up too, which let me see if I do have a Discord set up. Just booting that up here now. Give you guys a link to Discord. Maybe you can message me there, David, if you're on Discord. Let's see. Kind of new to Discord, so I'm trying to find out. Where's my link? Where's my link? So this is my Discord. You want to join my Discord right there? Boom. All right, that's Bambino Games Discord. Check that out. Oh, it's the Piper. Which Piper? Piper 3. All right, I'll check it out. I'll check it out. Yeah, so David, if you're on Discord, join me on my Discord and just shoot a note in there. It'd be nice to hear how it goes. So, Mayday, you're using the updated FlyInside and it works well. All right, well, maybe I'll take a chance. I'm not sure. I got to think about it. I gotta think about it, because like I said, if I have a problem with it, that means I can't stream, right? So, or I'll have to go back and revert, and that's a pain in the ass to do. So I get some questions about the stream and the quality, the graphics quality. So the reason why it seems a little bit blurry is because I'm now streaming using the Oculus Mirror app, just so you can see things in better proportion, and you're actually seeing what I see in the headset, but in 2D. But unfortunately, it's only in like 720p, so it doesn't really. It seems a little blurry because I'm streaming in 1080p, which maybe I should change to 720p. Just concerned because the image will be smaller, but I might do that for you know, for X-Plane 11 right now. Until Oculus allows you to step up the graphics quality of their mirror, you know. I'm not sure. David, maybe you could answer David's questions. David's asking, will this mean the touch controllers would work better in Beta 10 then or not? I'm not sure. Maybe Mayday can answer that. Just want to see the frame rates we're getting here. Yeah, so it's a little better outside the plane. Yeah, I think it's because you got all these trees generated. Which is the reason why the frame rates are so bad. You know, in Ortho 4XP, it's got the landscape from that, and then I think it's a lot less. There's a lot less trees generated. So listen, for you guys in the channel, I know David, Mayday, you guys are on here a lot when I'm streaming, and I really do appreciate the support, and I wanted to say thank you. I appreciate the support that you guys are giving the channel. It makes it worth my while to know that you guys are, you know, benefiting from, you know, some of the experience that I've had with VR and with X-Plane and stuff. So, but I appreciate you sticking with and, you know, helping support the channel. You know, it helps it makes these flights go a lot quicker when I've got people to talk to. So it's really nice that you guys show up and talk in the chat. So thanks, guys. Yeah, Mayday, I'm the same as you as far as touch controllers. I just don't think they translate well in flight simulation and VR. I would rather use, you know, I've got good feeling on where everything is, without having to know as far as my yoke and pedals go. And if you're really stuck, you can just tilt your head up and look out the nose hole, and you can see stuff with your left eye or right eye, whatever. But I prefer using, I definitely prefer using the physical controls versus touch controls. You know, and also plane command, voice control makes things so much easier. Especially setting radios, you know. The setting radios, you know, you need like the intricate little clicks to set the frequencies, and sometimes that's a pain in the ass with touch controllers. Let's just check inside the cockpit here. All right, what do we got? About 30 miles, 12 minutes. All right, we're doing well here. Probably good time to switch to tanks. You gotta be careful with this, because one time I slipped and I hit the off button by mistake, which sucked. Yeah, so they want you to put I'm gonna start doing that, putting the fuel pump on boost when I land. That's part of the checklist. So, but it is nice that they've got the checklists. Let's just check those out. Let me do it over here. Hold on. All right, just so we can see it a little better. So checklists. So there's my landing checklist, which is nice. Go previous. Alright, I love this, man. I should start using this. They're right here. External power, brakes, on hold, battery master. It tells you, giving you all the information you need for a start. Okay, so that's start. Taxing, flaps up. Radios, navigators as required. Fuel selector, switch tank. Pretty simple. Before taxi... Cabin heat to defrost, fuel selector, switch tank, parking brake, disengage, pretty much all standard stuff. Before takeoff, doors, cap holes. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing this. I'm gonna start doing these. Why not? Why not? I should be doing them. Okay. Normal takeoff brakes, power, engine parameters, elevator controls. Yeah, so 85 knots, you want the flaps up. Elevator controls, rotate smoothly between 65 and 70. Here's your short field takeoff, which we wouldn't really use. Climbing, power set, verify up, mixture full rich. Check engines, fuel pump is off. Fuel pump off for cruise. So pretty standard. Descent, altimeter set, cabin. Landing lights on, mixture required, brake pressure check. Before landing, seat belts. Fuel pump to boost, mixture full rich. Flaps, autopilot. Bulk landing, autopilot, disengage, full forward, flaps, 50%, best angle climb. Okay, so you want flaps at 50% for a bad. After landing, power level, 1000, fuel pump off, flaps up, transponder standby, as required, lights, pitot heat off. And shut down, fuel pump off, throttle idle, ignition switch cycled off, mixture cut off. Alright, so turn the mixture switch off. All switches off, magnetos off, ELA light out, and put the chalks down. Cool. Alright, so this next one we're on was before landing, so we'll go back there, and let's just see if the checklist comes up there. Yep, so that's good. So that way our checklist is right there, ready to go. Good, start using the checklist, Bambino, that's the way to do it. We got 20 miles to our waypoint. David, I would not have gotten in VR if it wasn't for you, Bambino. You're very welcome, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad to have another VR flyer. That's great. I have no problem with Plane Command. I'm not sure. Maybe... you know what? Why don't you write the dude? He's a really good guy, the guy that owns Plane Command, and let him know. You know, maybe it's something simple. I haven't had any problems with it at all. Once I installed it, it worked easily. I would write the support group at Plane Command and ask them about that. Mayday, hey, I wouldn't have gotten into VR Explain without you. You freed me from 2D Oculus rocks. Explain. Yeah, I can't think of enough. Thank you enough. You're very welcome, Mayday. It's great to hear. Two people that got into flying in VR from watching the channel. That's what it's all about, man. That's awesome. It's great to hear. So I'm just curious, what other games do you guys like to play in VR? I'm just curious. Hey, 10 people in the stream. That might be a record. Thanks for joining, guys. Say hello in the chat. Appreciate it. If you want to, make sure you subscribe to VR I was going to say VR Vibe. That's my other channel, which I'm no longer doing. Please subscribe to Bambino Games and hit that little bell icon when you do subscribe, and you'll get a notification of when I'm streaming or when I put up a new video. So, yeah, please consider subscribing to the channel. I also have Super Chat turned on now, and I've got the sponsoring turned on now. So, not that there's any, you know, requirement, but if you guys are feeling generous, Super Chat and sponsoring are right there for you. Elite Dangerous, yeah, I haven't gotten into Elite Dangerous. I think you mentioned that last time. Games I like in VR, let's see, Super Hot is really good. Robo Recall is really good. Let's see, I got a bunch of them. Oh, Rec Room. I don't know if you tried Rec Room. Rec Room's a lot of fun. It's a social VR site, kind of, where you can play games with other people. It's really cool. Only simulation games like Apollo 11. Okay, well, David, have you tried the space station was it ILSS, whatever it is? ISS, I think it's called. It's from Oculus, and it's a simulation of the space station. It's really cool. You could do like spacewalks. Hey, Jukebox, thanks for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate that, man. Welcome to Bambino Games. So, David, on ILS, the space station, it's for Oculus. I think it's from Oculus. It's really cool. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. You go in there, you can do spacewalks. You can operate the arm to like capture like satellites and stuff like that. It's really, really cool. You might want to check that one out. And it's free. It's pretty cool. There's so much stuff you can do in VR. It's, you know, you can really get caught up in it. At least I find myself being that way. But you've tried it. That's great. It is cool. In fact, I might stream a little bit more of that. There's not a lot to it because you can really only do the spacewalks and the arm control. But I was hoping they would kind of add to it. But it's still a nice experience, and it's free. I'll tell you a really cool game too, and I think it's still free with Oculus. Lucky's Tale. It's like a Mario kind of game where it's, you know, you collect coins and stuff like that, but it's all in 3D. Oh my God, the graphics are unbelievable in that game. It'll blow you away. I mean, it'll really blow you away. The graphics. It's so immersive. Yeah, I've heard Elite Dangerous is addictive too. I play another one. What's it called? Oh, I can't remember it. You're in a spacesuit, not a ship, and you're, you know, basically moving around through from one planet, one space vehicle to another, and there's asteroids around and stuff like that. I can't remember the name of it, but it's pretty cool. There's so many cool VR games. You know. Yeah, well, sometimes these things take up a lot of time, I guess. All right, I'm going to start getting ready to go here. We got, let's just pull this up here. We got 7 nautical miles to our waypoint. Would be nice if it showed you which tank you were switched on to, wouldn't it? But I should probably switch to the right tank. I am switched to the right tank. Good. Let's just check our... Alright, we got plenty of fuel. Still got 25 gallons. We're gonna have enough for this entire trip. See how our frame rates are doing. We're a little bit better now. 20, 21. Good. Must be less trees. Get back to our... Now we're going to start using the checklists, right? Definitely start using checklists. Yeah, so I think I'm going to get that Thrustmaster 1600M stick. Put it right here, and I'm going to set it up left-handed so I can use it for this plane, and I can use it for the gliders. And I'm not going to buy the throttle control because I'm just going to use these. I don't need the throttle control. I'll just use these, and then that'll be cool to have. So I'll have the throttles right here, and I'll have the Thrustmaster right here, and then I could either use that or I could use the yoke. This way, everything's set up to go. Yeah, well, listen, the MFD pops out. There it is right there. And the PFD pops out. So you can get both of them like that. You just click right on the screen and they come right up at you like that. Which is great. I mean, you could see it in VR. It's a little fuzzy. But when you bring it like that, it's crystal clear. Crystal clear, so. That's a nice feature. I like that feature. That it brings it right there. I think I'm not sure if they do that in X-Plane. Well, they'll probably do it in the VR version. But I don't think well, we'll see. Maybe the G1000. I know in X-Plane and FlyInside, if you click on the 530 GPS, it doesn't show up in the cabin like this, like in front of you. And that's really is a good feature. It really is a great feature. All right, so once we make our turn here, which we're doing now, we got 11 miles. So let's go to our checklists. All right, so seatbelt is fastened, fuel pump to boost. We want mixture in fuel rich. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We'll do that at about 5 miles, right? Tank selected to the full tank. We've got 11 miles. Let's zoom in and see if we can see our runway. Yep, right there. All right, we're good to go. Oh, we got to be careful here. There's a couple of airports in between here, so I'm assuming that's our airport. Isn't it funny? Oh, there's KLUK, yeah. 9.4 nautical miles. It's showing up on the nearest airport right there. You can see it, right? KLUK right there. Oh, it's giving me the frequency, 119.50. All right, 7 miles. Yeah, that must be it. All right, so where are we? We're at 1,700 feet. Let's start getting down pretty soon here. All right, so we want mixture full in. We want fuel pump to boost. Let's just check chat real quick here. Yeah, so guys, make sure you consider signing up for my Discord. This way we can communicate and stuff, and make it a little bit easier. All right, let me just get myself situated here. Now I got to remember the fuel pump is on boost. Okay, let me get my. Oops. All right, autopilot is off. We're gonna go. Start to slow this plane down. I love this plane, man. I feel like so comfortable in this plane. I really do. I just think it's very cool. All right, let's get the flaps to 1. Now, nose comes up quite a bit when you hit those flaps. I'm not sure if that's supposed to happen like that. I don't know. I think it's. I don't think that's right. I don't think you should have that kind of effect on the nose when you hit the flaps under 150 mile, you know, under 150 airspeed, 150 knots. But you come if they're just under 150, I'll hit the flaps to the first position, and the nose always comes up. So I have to basically push the nose down. I'm not sure if that's right. I was watching Cirrus Max, who's a real, he flies a real Cirrus SR20. He just put up a video last night flying into Boston. He hit the flaps about 140, and I didn't really notice him in the cockpit pushing the nose down. So I think that's something that maybe vFlyteAir has to work on. I'm not sure. Never flown one in real life, so I can't tell you. All right, so we're under. We can hit flaps full. We got about 500 feet down to the deck. We're about a mile out. Got to watch our airspeed. Yeah, this would be cool with a stick. So I think I'm going to get that 1600M stick. Mayday, I'm wondering what kind of what controllers do you use for Elite Dangerous? You probably told me already, but I'd be interested to know. Let's get ourselves down here. 78 knots. Keep it around 80. Of course, we've got trees right in front of the runway. In real life, those would not be there. We're a little high here. Start to bring back the throttle. Trim it up. A little stutter there. Flaps up. One thing I don't like, and I've said this before, the vFlyteAir, this plane is the sounds of the brakes. I'm not wild about that. We're going to have to rotate around here again. Yeah, I mixed in a little country music into the background music. All right, cool. Not bad. Got our flaps up. Let's get our... Let me stop right here. Set parking brake.
Brake set.
Let's get our checklist. Shut down. Fuel pump is off. Throttle to idle. Ignition switch off. Mixture back. Switch off all the switches. All right, good. Let's collect our FSEconomy money. Got to turn the plane off to do that. Okay, cool. All right, we made, oh, that wasn't a bad one. Let me just look at the log here. $2 grand from that one, 1,800 from the one previous. So you guys can't see that, but not bad. All right, so I've got 25 gallons in gas. Should be plenty of gas to get where I'm going. Only going 119 miles. Let me just check. I'm just checking something just in case. Yeah, we should be fine in the gas. All right, so let me start my... All right, so we got 25 gallons. We got our passengers loaded. So right now we made about $4 grand so far. Not bad. All right. Let's see. Before I start the plane, let me just check chat real quick. Not a bad landing, eh? I use Xbox control. Yeah, you mentioned that before. Okay. Because I have heard that the 1600M thruster and stick and throttle are apparently amazing with Elite Dangerous. Yeah, thanks. I thought I buttered that one pretty well, but thought that was a nice landing. All right, so we'll get set up for our next flight here. See, we've already transversed pretty far away, and here we are in respect to where we're going. So we've got just, I know it's small, but we're gonna go. You know where LA is, right? So we've got a long way to go. We're gonna basically come across this way and hopefully end up in my goal is to end up in Las Vegas. All right, so all right, cool. So we have our flight. Let's see, we got everything loaded here. Let's get this thing started up and take off again. This is going to be the longer stream, the longer flight. All right, let's see. We want mixture in. Throttle to 25%. Clear prop. Oh, battery on. Not going to start the plane up without the battery on. Turn the batteries on. Clear prop. Good start. Alternators on. Avionics on. We get our lights on. We don't need the landing lights. Okay, back. All right, before takeoff, we want our doors, cap lock handle verified, seat belts fastened, the fuel tank is good, fuel selector is good, fuel pump is on. Wow, we want the fuel pump on to take off? Okay, I'll do that before I take off. Autopilot check, manifold pressure. We're going to do a run-up this time. Cabin heat as required. Brakes, hold, power lever. 1700 RPM altimeter. Okay, let's let me go back to this here. So let's see here. Let's taxi over to where we're going. Nice airport here. This may be one of the ones they've added in 11.5. It is a nice airport. It really is. All right, we're into this ramp right here. Damn it. Set parking brake.
Brake set.
All right, so we're heading right to HVC. Let's get our checklist up here. All right, we got the fuel selectors good. Fuel pump, we'll put that on. Let's see. Transponder is set. Navigation is good. Cabin heat's good. Brakes are on hold. Power lever, 1700 RPM. Alternator is on. Pitot heat is on. Where's the pitot heat? There we go. Okay. Navigation lights on, landing lights on, annunciator lights are good, altimeter is good, voltage is good, heat as required, landing lights as required, magnetos, we'll check those in a second, engine parameters check, power lever, vacuum check. Let's go outside, just make sure, let's go outside the plane here. Just make sure our controls, ailerons, elevators, rudder good. And we should be good to go. All right, so let's do our run up. So let's get this to engine. Just check the plugs. We'll get this at 1700 RPM. I really shouldn't have the music on here because you want to listen to the engine. All right, we'll check the left. Down to 600. Okay, that should be fine. Back to both. And check the. Sorry, I checked the right before. Now we're checking the left. All right, good. So those are all good. I just want to see in the checklist if it tells you what the drop should be. Ignition switch, magnetos. Note RPM. It doesn't tell you what it should be. It just says note RPM. All right. All right, let's assume everything's good. Back to 1000. Back to idle. All right, seatbelts fastened. We've got our GPS in. Get rid of our checklists. And we're going to pick up our next leg is HVC, so we're good to go. Let me just check chat before I take off here, guys. Oh, you have a Warthog. Yeah, you should try it on the Warthog. You should try it on the Warthog. All right, here we go. Last leg of the trip. I feel like we're getting better frame rates. No, just still shitty. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to change real-world objects. But you know what? I'm not going to do that because I don't want to risk crash an X-plane. I'll do that for next time. All right, taking off for our last leg. All right, let's go. Ready? Flaps to 1. Fuel pump is on. And we are good to go. Throttle up. Release brakes. Comes at 50 knots. 50 knots. Coming to 60 knots. 65 and rotate. Nice. Get it up to 80 or 85, I think they said. Once we get to 85, we can put the flaps up. All right, we'll put the flaps up now. Just set our trim so we can climb here. Now, there is also a checklist for climbing, but I'm not going to go through that. But yeah, I'm going to start using those checklists as a modus operandi. We'll fly at the same altitude, 1790. I'm not sure what airport that is right there. Not sure what that is. Looks like an airport. It's a pretty big ass airport. SDF? SDF. All right, coming up to 1690, 1600. Bring it up to 17. And we'll just level off here, hit the autopilot. And we should be good to go. Looking good, looking good. 114 miles to HVC. We'll check out the diagram there. We're flying right over this airport. SDF. All right, picking up 104. It's going to bring the lean the mixture out a little bit. And bring the throttle back a little bit to 80%. Beautiful. All right. Everything good to go? Everything's good to go. Check chat here, what you guys are saying. Yeah, Elite Dangerous, a very, very popular game. It's been around a while. Pre-VR, really. Pre-VR. It's got a huge following. I just never. I know it's not a cheap game. I just never invested the money into it. But I might check it out one of these days. All right, here's HVC. Let's check this out. So we've got. Runway 26, which is where we're going to be heading for, and runway 8. Let's just check the procedures. Marks. Pattern, left traffic. All right, so we're going to left traffic into this. And this is a non-towered, so CTAF is 122.8. So let's set COM1 to 122.8.
COM1 set to 122.8.
Set COM2 to 132.57.
COM2 set to 132.57.
All right, so we got our weather and our CTAF, and we're going to land on 26, and we're gonna go left traffic into 26. Let's do that. All right. check our, all right, 42 minutes. Yeah, so I decided that from now on, even in Pilot Edge, I think I'm going to fly this plane rather than the Cessna. I usually fly the Cessna in Pilot Edge, but I just like this plane a lot more, so I'm going to start. This is going to be my plane, my GA plane of choice. Now, I'll definitely try out the Cessna when it comes out, when they come out with the G1000, but I'm going to, you know, this again. This is going to be my go-to plane, if you will. All right, guys, I'm going to take a quick break here. All right, I will be back in a few minutes, and just chat amongst yourselves, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, hey, I'm back. I'm just doing a little maintenance here. I think it's better if we keep the chat windows up there. So people can see, you know, afterwards when they watch the stream. So you guys are talking about weather. Yeah, I was mentioning before. So let me ask you a question, Mayday. Well, oh, you say it's not working. Was it Environ? X Environ isn't working with VR? Yeah, my question is, if they did work, would it still have the flickering cloud shadows? Because that's what drives me crazy about weather. I can't stand those flickering clouds when you're in VR. It's just awful. You have that problem? All right, so David's saying, I have real-world weather turned on an X-plane to simulate the real-world weather over here in England, but don't get flickering clouds. Okay. I get flickering clouds. To be honest, I haven't noticed much flickering. It seems very good. It's just the actual 2D clouds themselves. Oh, okay, so they look, it doesn't really show 2D well. Maybe they fixed it in 11.05, because I really haven't turned weather on and clouds on since then, so I'm going to check it out. But I could tell you that before that, it would have these horrible cloud flicker shadows on the ground. It would just drive me crazy. So I'm going to check that after the stream just to see if it's a little bit better. Maybe it is. Who knows? Yeah, in VR. Yeah, I can imagine that. Because X Enviro is designed for 2D, so they're probably not going to think about 3-dimension and stuff, you know. Yeah, the clouds look okay in VR in X-Plane. Just the flickering. I will tell you this though, just to change the subject. I don't know. Do you guys have you flown an Airfly FS2 at all? No, Daniel, I'm not. Sorry, Daniel was asking if I'm running the latest update to X-Plane. No, I'm running 11.05. This is not 11.10, which is a beta. So I have the current general release, yes, but I'm not running the beta, which is 11.1.0. Just because, you know, because I stream, I mentioned before, I don't want to take a chance of having issues, you know. Just X Enviro is 2D. Gotcha. But yeah, X-Plane's clouds are 3D. They seem to be 3D when you're in VR and fly inside, or maybe it's fly inside, reprojecting them as 3D, probably really more of what it is. But as I was starting to say, have any of you guys tried the Airfly FS2 VR? The reason why I ask is, now why Airfly doesn't have like navigation, and it's different than X-Plane. It doesn't have like any life to it. It's kind of like a frozen environment, but the graphic detail is incredible, and also because it's native VR, the visuals are so much clearer than they are with Fly Inside. So I just put up a couple of glider videos. I don't know if you guys saw them in Airfly, and I was saying in there, I'm hoping that when native VR comes out for X-Plane, that it's that clear, because it is clear in the Oculus Rift. I'm running it at 200% pixel density, the Rift itself, and I'm running Airfly FS2 at Ultra, and it just looks incredible. Now, the flight dynamics aren't as good as X-Plane. Doesn't have navigation. Doesn't have the radios and stuff. So, and there's no multiplayer, so you can't get like on Pilot Edge or talk to anybody or do like FSEconomy, that kind of thing. But it's got a lot of potential. It really does, just from the sheer graphic quality. I mean, if you fly in the New York area, the buildings look amazing. They really do. Mayday, I haven't tried Airfly, but I've watched a couple of vids on it. What do you think of it? It's much better than FSX in VR, especially in VR, because they've got native VR. It's more like FSW because it's got its own navigation. It's got like that GUI where you can create like a flight plan from one place to the other, like FSW has, you know. Yeah, you can get it on Steam. It's expensive. It's like 60 bucks, I think. And it's a huge download. It's like 120 gig or something like that. It's massive. But it is... Watch some of I have a couple of Airfly videos you might want to check out. Just take a look at those. It's very good in VR. The glider is amazing in VR. It is really amazing. But again, it doesn't have the radios. It doesn't have the GPS navigation, so it's lacking a lot of things. You know, to be a real flight simulator, it's more like a game kind of simulator, like FSW is. I know the FSW fans are going to be like, "Oh no, it's a flight simulator." FSW is a game simulator, if you ask me, because it's, you know, you're not communicating with people. You can't, you know. X-Plane 11, you can jump in a plane, you can set a GPS, and you can fly from one place to the other on the GPS. You can communicate with ATC either in X-Plane or if you wanted to do it on Pilot Edge. It's a different league. Yes, you've tried FSS, not very keen, more like a game. Right. It is more like a game because it doesn't have all those, the real world stuff. You didn't think the graphics were as good. Well, put your Rift on 200% pixel and put, and I think you have the PC to handle it, if I remember correctly. You have like a 1070, I think. You've got a 1070, Put Aerofly on Ultra and put your Rift on 200%, and it looks really, really good. It looks really good. But again, doesn't have all the real world stuff, which is a bummer. Yeah, that glider, I put one up this morning where oh, who's that? Daniel, thanks for subscribing, man. I appreciate it, I really do. Thanks for joining the channel and Bambino's Flyers, or whatever we're going to end up calling it, but thanks for joining the channel. Yeah, I put up a video this morning of flying the higher tech glider that they have. I forget the model number. And I'm flying it at Warner Springs, which is the same place that I fly the X-Plane glider. And it's really, really good. It's really good. It's a lot of fun. In fact, I prefer the glider in Aerofly over the glider in X-Plane. 100%. Except for the fact that you can't do it in Pilot Edge. What I like about gliding in X-Plane is I can go to Warner Springs and Pilot Edge and go out to the mountains to the east there, and people can come and join and you know, fly around and stuff, and it's, you know, it's more interactive and more multiplayer, you know, which is what I think makes it pretty cool. Yeah, Daniel, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thanks a lot. It's very nice of you to say, man. Thanks. But yeah, so it is, Aerofly is pretty cool. Now, I heard someone saying the other day, I can't remember where I heard it. I hear so many things, that Aerofly was getting close to coming out with like a general release. I guess it's still sort of like in early access, if you will. It's been in early access for like 3 years. But maybe that means they're going to get radio and GPS and all that, but I don't know. Mayday, which resolution have you set inside FlyInside, by the way? I'm at the 1680, or the 28 something by 1680. That's the resolution that I use in FlyInside most of the time. Because of frame rates. Sometimes with the Cessna, I can push it up to the higher end resolution, 23 something or whatever it is, 38 something by 20. I can't remember what it is. But right now I'm at the second to highest standard setting, just because of frame rates, and that's with the 1080 Ti. It's all because X-Plane is CPU intensive. That's the major problem right now. You just don't get, you can't really utilize your GPS, your GPU the way you'd like to, you know. But yeah, that's where I'm at, like second to highest setting in FlyInside. So Daniel, are you do you fly in VR? Do you have Oculus Rift or HTC Vive, and are you flying X-Plane 11 in VR? Be interested to know what you think if you are. Alright, so let me just do a check here on our flight status. 43 miles, 17 minutes, so we're making good progress. So I'm just curious, Mayday, was there any other updates in the new FlyInside release? Did Daniel Church add anything else to it? Any new features? I hope they fixed the issue with the virtual windows, although I never really reported it. But it would be nice to be able to have chat in the headset, because I can't do it. When I do it, I lose control of the mouse in the cockpit, which I can't have. I have got to be able to use the mouse. So those of you who just joined the stream, this is Bambino here. Thanks for joining. I'm flying the vFlyteAir SR20, Cirrus SR20 in VR. I'm using the Oculus Rift. Flying VR, and this is a mission that I set for myself. I bought this plane in Pennsylvania on FSEconomy. Paid like $320,000 for it, I think, something like that. Doesn't have very few miles on the engine. And what I'm trying to do here is get this thing to the West Coast, to LAX, from Pennsylvania, and then I'm going to have someone, I'm going to crate it up in FSEconomy, and I'm going to have someone fly it to Honolulu for me. It's going to cost me about close to $7 grand to crate it up, and then I'm not sure what someone's going to charge me to fly it. Probably a couple $1,000, maybe a little bit more to fly it. But yeah, so it's a fun adventure, and it's just a cool way to use FSEconomy. What I'm trying to do is pick up jobs along the way, make my way across the U.S. in a southwestern direction. Although now I'll probably kind of head towards the west a little bit more. And this trip was about 250 miles, which is a pretty long trip. It's going to take a couple hours to finish, but the next trip I'm probably going to might go a little bit longer. Might go like a 4-hour trip. We'll see. But we'll see. You have terrible problems. Yeah, I'm the same way. I have problems with it too. I don't know what it is. It's any type of window I try to bring in there. Like I try to bring the charts in there. The I use Air Server for my iPad charts. I couldn't bring that in. I try to bring I pop the chat out for YouTube when I'm streaming, and I try to bring that in there, and that works. But I lose control over the mouse in the cockpit. Like I can't do anything with the mouse in the cockpit, and that's just not good. So it's, unfortunately, it's not usable. But I haven't written Daniel about it to see what he thinks. You haven't noticed any new features with the new FlyInside? The X-Plane 11 renders differently now than before, much better and improved performance. And FlyInside works great with its Beta 10. Okay, good. That's good to know. So, yeah, I'm going to have to think long and hard about stepping up to that beta. I'm not sure. I'm still a little wary of it. Like I said, if I do that, then I'll, and I have a problem, it's going to jeopardize everything, and I don't want to risk the crashes. Well, I know the beta release for FlyInside is like on the fifth iteration of it, so that's probably good news. But the FlyInside is fairly new. You haven't tried bringing Windows in? Yeah. Let me know if you want to. If you try it, let me know, like in Discord, because it would be. I'd be interested to see if you still have control in the cockpit of the mouse after you bring a window in, because that was the problem that I was having. You guys want to join the Discord? See if I can I still have that link here. Nope, that's the wrong one. Let me give you my Discord link. You guys are on Discord, join up. Here's the Discord. I'm gonna get Nightbot in here, and so the chat's putting this stuff in there. Unfortunately, YouTube chat or YouTube streaming doesn't work. Doesn't like Twitch, where you can have stuff below and links and stuff. But for me, all the people that follow me are on YouTube. So for me, streaming on Twitch, I get like no one watching me. I just don't feel like building that up again. So I'd rather just stream here, because you guys know that I'm here. You'll have to download it. FlightSide does it download automatically. No, you've got to go there and get it, download it, install it. So you got to get it on their site. Yeah, you got to do a reinstall, basically, right? All right, we're getting a little closer. What's our elevation at Hopkinsville? Hopkinsville is, let's see, 564. Okay. Got to watch out for parachuters. There's the airport information right there. And I remember this is the left pattern we said, right? Let's just verify that. Go to checklist. We don't need this guy anymore. Let's see. 2626. So we're going to left pattern into that. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly to the south of the airport, and then we're going to enter in the left downwind. Hey David, no problem, man. There's no such thing as a silly question. No such thing as a silly question. All right, so yeah, I'm going to fly to the south of the airport, and I'm going to enter, going to just fly past it a little bit, and I'll enter in on the left downwind, and then we'll set up our landing. So what's the, let me just look here. Okay, FBOs, we got plenty of gas there. We can pull that guy if we need some gas. Frequencies, we got those set up. 26, so we're going to be at 260. There's a nav, a GPS approach, which I like to hand fly it. Okay. And alright, so that's what we'll do. Let's get back in the cockpit here. Reset my heading bug. Set heading bug to 260.
Heading bug set to 260 degrees.
All right, so that's our air. That's the direction of the runway. Let's do a status check here. So we've got 17 miles. We're getting real close here. So probably a good time to turn on COM 2 to see if we can listen to CTAF.
Hopkinsville Christian Co-Weather. Wind calm. Visibility more than 10. Sky clear. Temperature 22. Dew point -15. Altimeter 2939.
All right. No runway information. That's all right. So we're gonna fly south of the airport, and then enter in on the downwind. But we'll let them know where we are when we're about 10 nautical miles. We are. Let's see. We are northeast of the airport, right? And what the hell is the name of this place? Hopkinsville. Hopkinsville. All right. Hopkinsville. Hey, almost to the end of our trip here. Not bad. A little over 2 hours. I think it's been our time to get there, so it's been pretty productive. All right, 11 miles. I'm gonna talk to CTAF here. Hopkinsville, right? We said Hopkinsville. Hopkinsville traffic, Cirrus 328 Tango Delta. We are 10 miles northeast of the airport. We'll be circling to the south and entering on the left downwind for runway 26, Hopkinsville. All right, they know we're coming. We'll report again. We're at 5. Let's go over our checklist again. Remember I said I was going to do the checklist, right? Cruise, descent, altimeter off, or set. Cabin as required, landing lights on, fuel, system. Oh, wow. That's one thing I forgot about. Forgot about switching tanks. Look at that, we're pretty low on that tank. That's not good. Mixture as required. Okay, we're gonna go mixture full. And next one is landing. Seatbelts fastened, fuel pumps to boost. Do that right now. Mixture full in and flaps as required. Good. All right, we're getting there. We are getting there. Like I said, we'll let them know we're at 5 miles. Hopkinsville traffic, Cirrus 328 Tango Delta. We are 5 miles northeast of the airfield. We'll be entering, flying south, entering on the left downwind for full stop landing, runway 26, Hopkinsville. All right. Get our landing lights on. Good. All right, I think it's time. Let me just see if I can see the airfield. There it is, right there. Okay, I tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to fly to the north. Come on, VR. All right, where's my airport? Over there. Going in and out of VR here. I hate when this happens. Usually happens when you're switching scenery, and that's usually when, if you have a crash, that's when the crashes happen. And I don't want to have a crash right now. I've flown this far. Now, there's my airfield. But again, I got to do a left pattern into 2-6. So Hopkinsville traffic, Cirrus 328 Tango Delta turning left crosswind, runway 26. We'll be entering on the left downwind for full stop landing, runway 26, Hopkinsville. Now let's start to slow this puppy down. I'm going to do a left crosswind turn here. This is probably not how you would do it, because, you know, you got planes taking off here, and we're going to be right in the pattern of them taking off. So it probably would have been safer to fly south, but it's just going to take too long to do that. Let's do our flaps to the first position. You can see the nose come up. So I've got to yoke it down a little bit, put the elevators down. There's our airport. All right. Yeah, this is definitely not the maneuver you'd want. We would want to go to the south of this airport and then turn in the other way and hit the downwind. All right, so we could turn here. Hopkinsville traffic, Cirrus SR20 Tango Delta, entering on the left downwind for runway 26, Hopkinsville. Now, what I learned with this plane is you got to give yourself plenty of space. It's not like the Cessna. I mean, the Cessna, I can basically turn it on a dime and land it. This plane needs a little bit of space. So, you know, I'm probably about a half, maybe a quarter mile away from the airport right there. We're at about 1,200 feet, so we're about 700 feet above the pattern. We're a little low. We should be a little higher. Midfield right there. It's nice having that heading bug, so I know that I'm flying against the grain of the runway right now. So 26 is facing west. Obviously, because it's 260, it's heading 260. So it's facing west. And normally with the Cessna, if I'm about 45 degrees from the numbers, I'll make my base turn. But this plane, I need to take it out a little bit longer to give me a little bit longer to turn and line things up. Just to be safe. All right, so let's see. Mixture in, fuel. Let's see. Mixture in undercarriage, don't have to worry about. Fuel pump is on. And I went through the checklist and we're ready to go. Hopkinsville traffic, Cirrus SR20 Tango Delta, turning left base for runway 26, full stop, Hopkinsville. All right, we got it 70 knots here. We don't want to go too slow. All right, there's our base turn. Let's go full flaps. Get ready for our final turn. Hopkinsville traffic, Cirrus SR20 Tango Delta, turning final, runway 26, full stop, Hopkinsville. All right, let's turn final. Watch our airspeed, don't want to get too slow. Nice song to land with. All right, let's just see here. I'm a little high. Hopefully I could slow her down. I might have to go around again. Yeah, I think I'm going to go around again. I'm just going to go around again. See that? I did my base turn too quickly. In fact, let me just do this. Now, you wouldn't want to do that in real life. You want to fly the whole length of the runway and then make your left crosswind turn. But I'm just going to save a little time here. All right. I'm going to fly a little bit further out. Give myself time to descend. See, I went a little quick there. We're going to go full flaps. Under 110 knots. Try to keep the speed about 90. I don't want to have to do this again. So we'll turn right about now. Hopkinsville traffic, Cirrus 320 angle Delta, turning left base, runway 26, full stop, Hopkinsville. Hopkinsville traffic, Cirrus 320 angle Delta, turning final, runway 26, full stop, Hopkinsville. Flaps are full. Here's our turn on final, 93 knots. There we go. Much more room. Get this beast down. That's better. You gotta see 2 orange and 2 white. And that's what I see. 2 orange and 2 white. Throttle it back. Slow the plane down. Keep slowing her down. 92, 91, 90. Bring the nose up to slow it down even more. Beautiful. Want to be in the 70s. Trim up the nose. 79, 78. Good, 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 good. Good. 74. Good. And get to the piano keys. Cut back the throttle. Nose up. Let it float to the ground. Beautiful. That's how you do it right there. Good. Missed that one. All right. Well, sorry about the aborted landing there, but unfortunately, I don't feel like taxiing all that way. So I'm going to... Yeah, I can turn here. Flaps up. I feel like I'm getting better frame rates. 19. And there we go. That's a nice view. Getting the hang of this. You know who's really good at this, taxiing the plane while you're looking outside, is John Fly. He's really good. It's a little different in VR because you kind of like distracted, but it just gives it a cool look. All right, back in the plane. There's the GA hangars, looks like. People live right next to the airport here. 7-Eleven. All right, let's go get a Slurpee. You guys from the UK, I'm not sure you know what a Slurpee is, but looks like there's a 7-Eleven right over there. That's funny. All right, we're going to go right over here. See the FedEx plane. Set parking brake.
Brakes set.
All right, cool. All right, let's get our... We want to go... What does it say? Oh, yeah, water... fuel pump. Where's the fuel pump? Come on. Okay, flaps up. It wants you to basically turn the key off first. Boom. Mixture in, throttle in. Turn off all your switches. Plane is off. Come on. Easy for me to do. All right, let's check FSEconomy. All right, let's see here. FSEconomy, stop flight, finish flight. Okay, let me go to FSEconomy. All right, guys, so let's see what we did here. Log. All right, so we made 1890, 21, and 23. Not bad. So we started with 5. We made $6,400 on that trip. That's pretty damn good. So that definitely covers gas and sets me up for next time. So pretty happy with that. Cool. All right. Well, that was a fun flight, guys. I appreciate you. Let me just check chat here. See if you guys had any other questions while I was blowing that landing. Let's see. When you fly in real craft over here in England, we don't have to say the name of the airport twice. Oh, okay, David, are you a real world pilot? I'm interested to know that. Yeah, here in the U.S., you start by saying, you know, Hopkinsville traffic, blah 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 blah, and then you say Hopkinsville. The end. It's just a common way to do it. Let's see. I would recommend anyone thinking of updating Explain FlyInside that you read over the latest FlyInside forum news, depending whether okay, NVIDIA, AMD. Okay, so if you have AMD, you might have issues. Okay, good. That's good to know, dude. Thank you. Do I need to get XP website download update Mayday? Yeah, I think it's on the see, Mayday says due to rendering techniques, Explain 11 beta FlyInside, you have to rework certain elements regarding their shader tech. Okay. Interesting. For FlyInside, please do read over the latest news thread in the forum. Yeah, that's good to know. All right, guys. Yeah, thanks. The second landing wasn't bad. The first one I botched, so I had to redo it. But oh, you used to be a commercial pilot. Wow, awesome, David. That's awesome. So let me ask you a question then. How do you, if you're a real world pilot and you've got commercial experience, which is phenomenal, how do you compare VR flying with real world flying? I would love to know what you have to say about that. And I'll wait here with bated breath. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. What did I make? What did I say I made? $6,400. That's nice. Hey, listen, I'm gonna need that money to pay for this thing to ship over, you know. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, I would really love to know what David's. He's probably typing it up right now. So that's why I'm waiting patiently while I'm I'm just getting over a really nasty cold, so I'm putting a holes in my mouth. I had this major chest congestion for like the last couple like 2 weeks now. So there's our trip. 250 nautical miles, not bad. Pretty much stuck to the navigation point. You look at, oh, there's David. It is just as awesome and is now so realistic. But it was a long time ago when you flew commercially, as I lost my commercial medical due. Okay. All right, so you lost your commercial due to medical. But you still, I'm sure you have vivid memories of flying, you know. So it's good to know. Well, you know what's really cool is, like, you're a person that used to fly and you lost your commercial license due to a medical issue, and now you can, you know, now you can fly again in VR and at least have some of that feeling, which is really cool. I read a story about, I forget what it was, some guy got it for his grant. Maybe someone posted it. Yeah, I think someone posted it in the comments on one of my videos where some guy set up a VR X-Plane 11 system for his grandfather, who was a pilot and had lost his ability to fly or whatever, and it just made the guy so happy that he was able to get back into the, you know, the cockpit and actually fly, even though it was in VR. It just gave him that sense, you know, which is awesome. So you fly privately. Okay, well, how would you, if you fly privately, how would you rate the VR experience compared to flying in, I'm assuming you fly a small GA plane. How would you rate, like, flying the Cessna 172 and X-Plane 11 to flying, you know, in real life? I'd really love to know that. While you're typing up your answer, let me just go to the layers here, so you can see. Here's my route into Hopkinsville, right? So I came the wrong way. I should not have done that, right? I should have definitely gone south. Okay, but you could see the first one was a little too tight. And I mentioned that, like, I need a little bit more space to get the plane down. And the second one, I went out, you know, quite a bit further and was able to do a much better landing. So, lesson learned. You know, I always think 172. I've done so much pattern work in X-Plane with the 172 that I always think 172 when I'm landing. And obviously, that's not the right move, you know, with this plane. You need to give this plane a little time. Dave, almost exactly the same as it is in real life. I would not go back to flying the 2D screen. Yeah, I agree with you, man. Totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. And most people that do it, that fly in VR, X-Plane in VR, they say the same thing. They can't go back to 2D. In fact, one of the other YouTube channel guys, oh, I just lost my flight plan go. One of the other YouTube guys, Belgeode. I don't know if you ever checked out his channel. He does a lot of DCS flying. Really good guy. He got an Oculus recently, and he is blown away by it too. But check his channel out, Belgeode. Pretty cool channel. Let me just see here. So anyway, well, guys, listen, David, I appreciate your thoughts on that. It's really cool to know that you're a real pilot. I didn't know that. Maybe you had said that before and I just don't remember it, but it's really cool. I'm sure I'm gonna remember it now. But that's great to know that you're a real world pilot and that you've gotten, you know, the VR experience for you is comparable, which is great. That's great to know, because actually my son is thinking about learning how to fly. He's young. He's 21, just turned 21. He wants to get his pilot's. He said, Dad, I'm thinking about getting my pilot's license. Can I try VR? I was like, yeah. So last night I actually put him in Aerofly first because I just think it's a little easier. and he was blown away. So we're going to start, I'm going to start training him on what I know and letting him use my Pilot Edge account so he can go through the cat ratings and stuff and learn what to do and stuff like that. And you know, I think it's a great way for him to get at least accustomed to flying, and hopefully it'll help him someday get his pilot's license. So anyway, that's gonna about do it for me today, guys. It's been almost a 3-hour stream today. I appreciate you guys checking it out, and Mayday, David, and Daniel, and everybody who participated in chat, guys. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like button on this video, and don't forget to subscribe to Bambino Games, my channel. Hit that little bell icon next to this subscribe so that you get a notification when either I put a video up or I'm streaming. I'm trying to do more streaming now than production videos. Every once in a while I'll get an idea for a production video that I think is going to be helpful, and I'll put one up. But I think you're going to see more streams because I think the interaction and the discussion is really good. And what I want to try to do is make these X-Planes VR streams all about X-Plane VR, so the community of people that are flying X-Plane in VR can talk, and we can have some good discussions about share information and stuff like that. So yeah, Mayday, thank you, man. I appreciate you contributing, and David and everybody. And I'm going to sign off now. So have a great evening, guys. Fly safe, and we'll talk to you later.